right off the top, I've got to say thank you. Not just for watching, but thank you for picking up the phone. Thank you for pressuring your local MP because we got the result that so many people wanted. Now, both sides of politics had their hand in the till, but there are two very different ways that this was dealt with. Once Laurie Oakes had exposed that both major political parties, had their hand in the till and were looking for taxpayer funds on top of what they already have with taxpayer funds, with no restrictions on private donations, there were two ways of doing it. There was the Labor Party way of doing it, which was, despite having their hand caught in the till, despite the country having a deficit of $19.3 billion, they decided to dig in. They decided that these were worthy reforms, but very little conversation about the extra money that annoyed so many people. Now, on Monday night, when Laurie Oakes broke that story, I could smell what this was. It was a rort. It was a scam. So loudly we spoke about it. And basically, bar Laurie Oakes and us, there weren't many people who noticed. But because you reacted the way that you did, because you picked up the phone, slowly this went from being a news story to a media outrage story, but most importantly, it became an action of people power. Now, it's been interesting to see that people like the Greens are trying to claim credit for it. The credit lies with people who have been here since Monday night, who smelt this since Monday night, who took up the challenge and who did their bit after seeing what we spoke about on this program on Monday night. So, again, I say thank you so much. The other way of doing things is, of course, the way that the Liberal Party did it. Now, Tony Abbott does not deserve a gold medal because he did do this after kicking and screaming. As late as last night, according to Laurie Oakes, he was still of the belief that this was a good system and a good thing to do. But because of the people power that hit up his office, that hit up his front bench, and also plenty of his back bench as well, sanity has prevailed. Now, despite the fact that both political parties' hands were caught in the till, one of them realised that it was a mistake and pulled out before it became a permanent mistake. They did what the people wanted. We live in a representative democracy. They work for us. They don't rule over us. Now, despite the fact that the right thing happened in the end, what do you think they talked about in Canberra today? Was this an embarrassing sign for the government, who didn't realise this was a problem either? No, it was all about Tony Abbott and whether he did or didn't sign a piece of paper, whether he took too long to welch on a deal. He didn't welch on a deal. He realised that a mistake was going to happen. And therefore, he did the right thing and he made sure that cash for votes was dead. But what about this for some of the reaction of those who had some of their hands in the till as well, including the Greens? Have a look.
He can't be believed unless it's in writing. What we now know is that if it is in writing, don't take that as a guarantee either.
This really goes to the heart of the extent to which he can be trusted.
Questions really do need to be asked about the sincerity of any agreement with him.
Even if Mr Abbott signs on a dotted line, you can't trust it.
What absolute garbage, especially from the Prime Minister. This has yet again proven the tin ear that she has, and she's got two of them. This idea that if she makes a decision, then eventually the Australian public will catch up to her and subtly see what the genius of the move was. This wasn't about disclosure. This was disclosure that was the smokescreen for a pay rise for the faceless men. The faceless men of the Liberal Party and the faceless men of the Labor Party. At the last minute, the Liberal Party did the right thing, Conservative politicians did the right thing, but they only did it because of that people power. And how dare Anthony Albanese get out there and even go near a microphone trying to attack someone when it comes to cash for votes? We know that on Monday night, at the Left caucus meeting, he said that the party needed the extra money from the taxpayers because the party was broke. That's why the Labor Party didn't care that you noticed that they had their hand in the till. You see, they think that people like you don't matter. And too many people in our political classes think people like you don't matter. People who watch shows like this, people who are willing to pick up the phone, people who pay attention to what's going on. This Prime Minister and her government, they bet on your apathy. What you have proven in the past 4 days is that when woken, the people will be heard. You have been heard loudly. Thank you so much for bringing sense to all of this. And finally, we had a politician and a prospective future leader who was willing to throw himself under the bus, cop a bad look in the news, but stop a mistake from being made.